Contrary to popular belief, this is not just rap music. This is life. So I offer you right now, life. Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.
What's happening? Episode 38, UnMask'd, a.k.a. Cognac crew. You know who it is. 1/3 of UnMask'd, Trez, a.k.a. the Barbarian. So glad to be here. Across me, I got my boy P. What's happening with it, brother?
What's good, family? King to a God as always. Spins, what's good, man?
I'm good. Fellas, back at it again, 38.
Yes,
you know, and continuing to rock. So definitely appreciate everybody still listening, rocking with us. We appreciate the viewership. Continue to like, share, subscribe, comment. So let's get it started. Couple hot topics, all right? So I'll start from a health perspective. So I'm you know, what I'm starting to see, you know, we talked about it in previous shows, previous episodes, and we've gotten feedback, things of that nature. But, you know, this is a continuing topic when you're talking about vaccinations and in the workplace, right? So, you know, the thing about it is we look at all this data, right? And right now, I don't know if anybody has, if you all have looked at what's going on in the news for New York. PU brought it to light for us, and so right now the number, Trez, you just mentioned it
was like 70,000 last week.
Right, last week, and for those who don't know, that is the amount of people that their jobs are being threatened.
Right.
Basically, if they do not get vaccinated.
Right.
Healthcare workers, which is, I mean, this is who's on the line. Front line defense. You know, so
I'll let you call them essential workers.
Super essential. Yeah. Definitely it's been something that's ongoing. We knew it at some point it would come to that. You know, and so I just think that's really, it's some bullshit. I mean, let's just keep it real. It should be it's a slippery slope, because you want to say, you know, you definitely want to be like, all right, well, you know, your corporation, they're gonna do that. We expected it. But then at the same token, you should have the choice. But I'll let you guys.
I think it's a slippery slope.
Very.
But at the end of the day, I'm just going to slide on down this slope with the way I truly feel about the situation. You know, with them trying to mandate it, you know, people going to do what they want to do. But if you mandating it and making it mandatory, then I feel like it should be fucking mandatory. It is not fucking mandatory. There's exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if there's exceptions to the rule, whether it's health or religion, you know, there's exceptions to the rule. So
or specific accommodations.
So it's not mandatory. So until they figure out and make that shit 1,000% mandatory, then, you know, you should let the people make that decision. Pressuring somebody to do something that they don't feel comfortable about.
That's stressful.
Right. And it ain't gonna make them do it, because at the end of the day, some people's gonna fold, but at the end of the day, some people's also gonna stand up for what they truly believe in, and it may cost them a career.
Yeah. And then New York is not a cheap place to live.
Oh, it's definitely not a cheap place to live.
East Coast or West Coast, just depending on. And I mean, hell, you keep living, the Southern Coast is gonna be there in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the way they're going about it right now is totally wrong, because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because whether you get the shot or not, you can still get COVID, right?
Absolutely.
The difference is
the effects are supposed to be lesser.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if a person chooses not to get it, as long as they're doing the other protocol, you know, wearing a mask, disinfecting, all that shit, let that person breathe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't force a motherfucker to have to take some shit because you want to take that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody asked you to take the motherfucking flu shot. And things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just how I feel about the situation. You know what I'm saying? And if they're saying it's mandated, then there shouldn't be no exceptions to the fucking rule. Period.
Yeah, I can see. I can understand. P, what about you, man?
I mean, I agree with Trez in a sense. I think New York is about to lose out because you don't necessarily lose your credentials. You got to go and recertify or get a license in another state. But if I was a nurse or a doctor and I didn't want to get it, that's fine. I'll go to another state.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
I think you are
maybe cheaper to stay in another state.
Yeah, it may be, and I think that it's almost a slap in the face because those people were on the front lines when there was no vaccination, taking care of the people who were coming in ill from it. Ill from the disease,
and now the people that got the vaccination,
now that a vaccination
you want to look at them
available,
like,
you want to make them get the vaccination. So it's twofold, but I think that I don't think we're at a point where I know the governor was talking about bringing in the National Guard.
The fuck
all right, that's way overboard.
Yeah,
that's way overboard.
Yeah, that's
you know, what I mean?
You're bringing in the National Guard for a problem that you caused.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's. Not from the standpoint of like rioting or anything.
Well, no, the National Guard was going to be able to take in place of the healthcare workers,
right?
That you know, so that's a problem that they caused.
Yeah,
you're almost forcing these people to make a decision. Now you want to bring in the National Guard to try to replace them? Like that's an unnecessary call
to sustain what you
right. That's unnecessary.
Well, shit. Do we have enough? Do we have 70,000 healthcare workers in the National Guard?
Nah,
that are going to be willing to leave what they're doing to do this?
And they're talking about bringing out retirees and things of that nature.
Well, yeah, because National Guard that's weekend activity.
Yeah,
shit.
Part-time.
Still got a regular job. I'm supposed to quit my regular job and go do this shit. Well, I mean, I guess you're not quitting. The regular job is supposed to have the understanding that you're being called to duty.
But the National Guard might get tired of that shit.
Yeah,
I only signed up for this shit for a month.
And a prime example in my household, it's been a force on someone in the medical field. So that's already done. Been forced to actually take the vaccination. So I'm dealing with that as well. You know what I mean? In my own household. So like, I already see like the effects. It's annoying. It's really to force somebody to have to do something like that just because, okay, this is what it is. Even though, to your point, P, it was dealt with the entire time. We actually went through what I'm gonna call back, the thick of the pandemic. So, I mean, and this will be ongoing. I'm sure it's starting right now with New York and certain companies, and it'll just be an ongoing conversation. But more to come. So I just hate that for those people to have to think about maybe picking up and move to follow your beliefs and go against what you feel is
So how, if you don't mind sharing, how did it affect your household making that decision? Was it easy? Just go get it done.
Waited to the last second, and it was a real career type of conversation. If I gotta apply for something else, like how I was feeling. But ultimately, it becomes that person's decision. So you know how that goes, and I gotta support it. So
okay,
hey, stay true to your beliefs, people.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe in,
True.
But at the end of the day, stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay distant.
Whether you got a mask on, whether you got vaccinated, stay safe, stay clean.
All right. Before we get into the thick of tonight's topic, I want to talk about, just really quickly, something that came across on social media, and I just thought it was very, very interesting. So this particular guest was on another show, and it was a female. And I know we'll have things ongoing with this piece, but the message was a woman typically takes between 18 and 40 minutes before they are fully aroused. What that means, to elaborate, is basically there's 18 to 40 minutes
I don't believe it.
of foreplay.
I don't believe it.
Before
I don't believe it.
There is actual sexual intercourse, penetration, things of that nature to get the full arousal. That's why, to her point, that most women don't orgasm. So, since you don't believe it,
I don't believe that shit. Damn shit.
I will say, I think it depends on the woman.
It definitely depends on the woman.
And that's where I'm a little
40 fucking minutes, bro.
I think it depends on the woman.
The end of the scale.
Yeah.
You said 15 or 40?
No, 18 to
18.
40. And
18
before
to
you
40.
and before you make your piece, both of y'all, she also mentioned that there's desire, there's the foreplay aspect, meaning that's oral sex or just stimulation, rubbing, kissing, touching, feeling, things of that nature, and then also sexual intercourse. So there's the desire. There's
all
the
that was included?
foreplay. No, just in the 18 to 40 minutes, there's desire and foreplay. We're not even talking about sexual intercourse. The desire for that person, and then after that, the kissing, touching, rubbing, feeling, head, whatever you want to say.
Go ahead, Tress.
I don't believe it. I've already said what I said.
So again, I'm gonna reiterate. It depends on the woman.
It definitely depends on the woman, but
it's also it's
can't be no fucking time living on the vibe. Fuck out of here.
Okay. So I will say this. All right. I don't believe that it takes that long. I'm more towards the 18 minutes than the 40 minutes because it don't take that long.
Well,
in my personal
fucking
opinion.
40 minutes, man. Nigga.
But I could also see from a perspective, right? I could also see, regardless of the woman, some people could take that desire. The desire could be, they got the term Netflix and chill, right?
Right.
The desire can be the Netflix the first, 20, 30 minutes. Then you get 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. And then there's the intercourse. So it can be looked at as, if I'm kind of playing that advocate, right? I don't believe that it takes that long. Again, that depends on the woman. But then on the other flip side, depends on what that desire and that's the reason why I mentioned that piece. It depends on what that desire part is. How attracted, and then also what goes into that before we actually start
what goes into warming it up.
Right. And I think that you got to talk about it. I just think that if I could play that the advocate on that, I would say that would be a part of her description. What you think, P?
I think we need to have women on the show.
I think so.
I mean,
we could do that.
There's too many variables to talk about what the warm up. You said desire.
Mm-hmm.
And the desire could go. It's very vanilla. It's very vanilla.
Vague.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very vanilla.
So,
okay, we could say that. We could more to come. We can do it like that.
That's vague.
That makes sense.
But I still don't believe
it. So right, let's see if we can prove this myth wrong. So more to come. We'll
desire
think
could
about
be
that.
the music in the car on the ride home.
That's what I'm saying. It's so many different.
You see what I'm saying?
The desire, right? The desire could be on the way there.
The desire could be when we made eye contact.
Right. That's what I was just finna say. You took it right out of my mouth. Right when I see your ass, and that can.
Well, we're talking about her.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Hey, that's how it goes. So, with that being said, we'll save that. Hey, so one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation is because we all know it. We've all kind of gone through a couple things within our relationships that make us kind of think about like, hey, what is this? What is the outcome? How do we really vibe with each other? And the best example I can give, and Trez, I got to give you credit because this is one of the things that you were talking about. You were pretty adamant about. And so the example that I have is, I don't know if you if you all follow kind of like Jeezy and is it Jeannie? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I think it's Mai or May. Is it
Jeannie Mae Jenkins now?
Yeah, yeah. Congrats on the
Jeezy last name Jenkins.
Yeah, Jay Jenkins. Okay. Yeah. So if anybody's been following the story, just to give a little insight for those who don't know, so yes, they're recently married. As you know, Jeezy had previous relationships, and then Jeannie is previously married, and so. In her previous marriage, one of the things that she was quoted on saying is that, she didn't necessarily, due to whatever reasons, she didn't know she was going to have kids with this person. And that was kind of the deal breaker in that particular marriage. And so now that she is actually married again with Jeezy, they are expecting their child soon. So it begs the question, in a relationship, when do you kind of know, or how long, let's back up a second. So, how do you know if you're staying too long in the relationship with the wrong one? I can start.
I mean, I think that's always a risk.
Okay.
I think everybody has certain attributes or whatever that they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I think expectations, you have that as well.
Uh-huh.
and if those things aren't being met, then you could pull out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think the most important thing is having the conversation.
The communication behind it. Yeah.
Of letting the person know the expectation, the desire, the need, or whatever, the want.
That should be done at the beginning.
No, it should be, but I mean, you still gotta.
It happens.
Sometimes you gotta remind people that this is what I said,
Right? But
and it's not. You gotta remind people.
Can't keep reminding. If you have to keep reminding them, then I don't feel like that's the person that you gotta. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta keep beating the dead horse over and over, and you're not getting getting a reaction.
It's not beating a dead horse. It's about what people are used to. Okay, in a position. Let me paint the picture so that it's relatable.
Okay.
In a position, in a job, if you manage people and they're not doing what you want, you have to coach them to do what you want.
Right.
Not everybody in a relationship that you get involved with is where you want them or you expect them to be. Now, there may be attributes that may have drawn you to them, but if they're not where you want them to be, but you see that they could be,
that's potential.
Call it what you want.
Don't kid yourself.
Don't kid yourself, but call it what you want, right? If I liken it to a job, you hired them for a reason. You gave that person an opportunity for a reason.
They did the interview. Right. They had the resume.
Right.
But that's different, bro.
It's not different.
It kind of is, because if you're hiring somebody and you work with them as say like you're a manager and you work with them, your job is to coach them up
or get rid of them.
Right. And if they don't get coached up within a certain amount of time, you coach their ass out.
Okay.
So you coach them up or you coach them out.
So it's the same
fucking thing.
I said that.
Right. And that's what I was saying, the same thing. Why are you going to, if you're coaching somebody and they're not doing the job right at the job, you're not going to consistently keep telling them you're doing the job wrong. Am I right? We're going to document this shit. We're going to talk about it again. We're going to document. Okay, you don't want to do this shit? Get your ass out here. I'm going to get somebody to do this shit right.
No, you're absolutely right. But again, I stopped at the part of saying you have to give the person an opportunity or you have to let them know. And you said you don't have to keep telling somebody.
Over. That means you've already let them know. If you've let them know, but you have to, now it's coming like, damn, I have to repeat myself again. So I got to repeat myself again.
So in a job, somebody does something, they don't catch it the first time.
You
right?
coach them.
So you're telling them again.
Right.
Okay, now they fix one thing, but 2 or 3 other things is missing.
We're talking about something different now.
No.
We're not. I'm not coaching on the same thing.
When you first coached them, you told them maybe 3 or 4 issues. Right? They didn't get it initially.
Spence, what did I say? I don't want to keep repeating myself, telling you the same thing over and over again. You just said what the illustration you just described, they're having different issues that we're dealing with on the job. It's not the exact same issue.
No, I said you list what you expect or desire or need or want.
Right.
So that's not one thing.
Yeah.
So you have to keep going over that list repeatedly?
No, I'm not saying you have to keep going over it. I'm saying some people don't have the capacity to fix multiple things at one time.
Right. So that's when it becomes.
Yeah. So my,
is it going to be worth it or is it not going to be worth it?
Exactly.
That's what you mean. So
That's all I'm saying is is it worth it or not worth it, right? Because in this dating shit, this shit is crazy.
Right.
And you go through it, but what I will say, and I'd like to have women on for this as well.
Right.
But what I will say is that it's, for a quotation, it's more good women than good men. For a quotation, right?
I would definitely agree with that.
I think we're 3 good brothers. There's more good women than good men.
There's
right?
more women in the world.
So what I'm getting to is, for us, it's more of a likelihood that I find another you than you find another me.
Right.
I can agree with that.
You see what I'm saying?
I can agree with that. That's for sure.
That's all. Yeah.
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 So yeah, it's a dangerous. This dating shit is a dangerous game.
I mean, to be honest with you, when you have to go through that, and like Trez, you may be a little bit more inept to be like, all right, cool, and I have something I kind of want to put in that's going to kind of drive the conversation here in just a second, but I give my piece. I think Trez, what you made is a good point. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Because to be honest, and then this is to your point, this dating or whatever was the shit is stressful. Relationship is gonna be stressful.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like there is there's something in your head or a trigger that says, "Hey, I'm not gonna keep saying this shit."
Yeah.
I think staying too long with, and that's what I'm saying. Staying too long with the wrong one would drive you
absolutely.
mad crazy. You know
No,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a different switch that clicks in your head.
Yeah.
But I would also say this, and I'll be completely honest with you. So that person you may be more inept, and this is a male perspective, right? So you are more inept to deal with coaching that person. And I'll go back to your analogy when you're dealing with a high performer or when you're dealing with somebody that's actually doing some of the job, right? That's doing parts of it,
Right.
bits and pieces. You're more inept to kind of have a little bit more leniency. And if I can flip it to a relationship side, you're going to make that decision, whether that's physically being pleased, mentally being pleased, or if you financially being pleased by that person.
It depends on the bits and pieces that's being covered.
That's what I'm saying.
That's being covered.
Right.
What how much it weighs the importance of that bits and pieces if it's being covered. If it's not a heavy weighter on that scale, it's not looking good.
Don't get me wrong. You can't put a price on your happiness or your
You can't.
your
No, never. You can never do that
peace of mind.
on peace of
Right.
mind.
Peace of mind is more important than anything in this world.
But you can deal with shit a little bit longer.
No,
you know what I'm saying. You kind of
You can, but you don't have to.
no, you don't. But I'm saying there are people that are out there that have from a relationship standpoint, they're more willing to kind of deal with some bullshit because of certain reasons. And that's what I'm saying. And so
I agree with that.
it clouds that judgment to say, all right, I'm done with your ass, or I'm gonna continue moving on this way or that way.
I agree.
Or, even just from a standpoint of kids. I know we say, the general saying is that, you can't do nothing based on no kids, but that's a real reality.
What do you mean?
Having children with a certain person. It's a real reality.
Okay.
That's just something that I just added that as a piece. But, it's again, the decisions that you have, some things that are there kind of cloud that opportunity, or it makes you scared to say, hey, too long with the wrong one. And that's just kind of
And the more you engage in it and it's not successful, the more you have hesitation on proceeding and doing the shit again and again and again and again, and it failing or you being let down or disappointed.
Because the outcome has never been a successful outcome. So
Right.
why keep going forward like that?
But with it not being successful, then do you start looking at you?
I mean, you gotta look at every aspect.
What change do you need to make?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely gotta look at self first. Before you look at anything else, you gotta look at yourself.
Yeah.
Before you look outside, you gotta look at yourself.
Yeah.
It's always important to kind of look yourself in the mirror. But the biggest thing that I think, and I don't want to miss this piece, is that you both said that communication has to be.
It got to be rock solid.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It got to be rock solid, and it got to be transparent.
And I think it's important to know the time frame that you need to have a specific conversation. You said not everybody, has that up front, but it should be.
I think every conversation should be up front.
That's up front early, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
that's ground. That's brown.
You get it out the way.
You know what you're dealing with. Like
you get it out the way.
Yeah.
Now some conversations are harder to have up front.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at a certain point,
you gotta have them.
You gotta have it.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to have them. And those are not conversations that you have via text message or via over the phone.
It's gotta be.
Like we sitting.
Yeah.
I need you to be looking in my motherfucking eyes. I need to be looking in your fucking eyes when we having this conversation type shit.
And I would even say for those hard conversations, you need to know how a person communicates.
Yep.
To be able to receive it.
Yep.
Yeah, man, you can say that 100 more times.
You know what I'm saying?
Twice on Sunday.
But it still ain't gonna happen that way.
Yeah, because if you don't know how a motherfucker communicates, we can be sitting in the same room talking to each other. I say the wrong word. Now you just waiting to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Are you listening, or at what point did you stop and now you're waiting to respond?
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of times we stop listening. We just waiting for you to stop so we can respond.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And now you done missed the shit because it took me a while to get there. You know what I'm saying? Or I missed it because you added all this shit about this, that, and the third that I didn't see value in, and then got back to your point. But I need to respond because the first shit you said is what I want to address.
Right.
And for me, when I'm having that conversation, one thing that you learn over time is when you having that conversation, you get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna sit back and just, for me, I'm sitting back, I'm gonna let you get it out. This is my personal experience, right? So I'm gonna let you get it out. Go ahead, talk. Right? I'm gonna listen to everything you're saying. And then what we do is from there, now it's my turn. We come together and we figure this thing out. But that's just my
I'm getting there. I'm not 100% at a point where I can sit there and let you get out a whole bunch of shit, because me personally, and this is something I've told women in my pursuit of dating, I don't do grocery lists. And what I call a grocery list is you talk about this, that, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. I've killed a lot of brain cells in my lifetime. I need to address that shit one at a fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I don't got it. So if you start going down this, now I got to remember what was going on during that time to be able to address it the right way, to be able to say, okay, well, this is why. Man, fuck all that shit.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I know you said you're getting there, but how often do you let them know that up front?
All the fucking time.
Okay. I just
That's
wanted to
one
know
of my first shits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, I don't do grocery lists.
Okay.
What's a grocery list? This is a fucking grocery list.
Yeah, right off the bat.
This is my analogy of a grocery list.
Yeah. And so for me, that's how, I get what you're saying with the grocery list. For me, I'm like that because once you done, it's all me. Let me talk.
Yeah, I ain't there yet either, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And usually, I would say from a percentage standpoint, I would say about 95% of the time that works.
You're able to address every concern?
No, not every concern. I would be a lie if I said that. I'm saying that way of actually having a conversation, whatever that conversation may be or whatever we need to talk about as adults, it works for me for her to go first, get it out, and then we come back. Let me say what I gotta say. No interruptions. And then we can go from there.
I've tried that shit. It just don't never work like that, man.
What, letting the woman go first?
Well,
It didn't start like
what?
that.
Nah,
I'm saying
yeah, like,
it didn't start that way.
You let them go first. You come back. You speak your piece, but then they want to speak. So no, I got some more piece to speak too. Then shit, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all about to be up till 4 in the fucking
Right.
morning to talk.
Nah, I ain't got time for all that shit. Like, oh, you want to have the last fucking word with it? Okay.
And some people, some men and women, got to have the last fucking word.
Oh yeah. It just depends. Again, that depends on, and this kind of ties into what I'm about to ask next. So, that kind of just depends on, do you think that you can find that one person immediately, or do you got to go through some shit first to find that right person? Because let me say this, as hold on, before y'all dive in, as I'm younger than y'all. Everybody know that, right? But I'm not that much younger. So when we talk about that, there's a lot of experience that has gone on in this room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And there's some things you've been through. There's some things you've been through that I might not have gone through. There's some things that you've been through that he might not have gone through, and vice versa. It just may be age in some capacity is not nothing but a number. But there's experience there. So I feel like you're not gonna find that person. That love at first sight shit is, I don't. That's a myth to me. So I just feel like, to me, in order to get to the right person or find the right person, you gotta go through some shit first. And that may not be with that person that you originally met over time. I just feel like you gotta go through some shit as a person first.
I don't think it's.
I agree with you halfway.
Yeah, I would say halfway, but see the
you could go
the
through
difficulty.
shit. Mm-hmm.
The
But it could be with that
difficulty
person.
with relationships is growing together.
Yep.
Because everybody's going to change, right?
Yeah. Should change.
No, you will change.
Yeah.
It may be for the worse, but you will change.
Right.
You hope that it's for the better, but everybody's going to change, right?
Yeah.
So you hope that person understands your change. You hope that person embraces your change, and that they can live with it.
Mm.
If they can't, then it's going to fall apart.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So you just got to be ready for the change.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody's go fuck up. I dated a woman once who told me every man is going to cheat. I said, well, damn, you just waiting for me to cheat?
Yeah, you just waiting on it.
Yeah, every man cheats. Well, fuck it. Let me just go cheat now.
Let me go handle that. Yeah. I just saw this other shorty. Let me
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I ain't saying that, but at some point you go,
If that's your outlook. Then,
well, that's what you keep feeding the universe.
Yeah, what you put out there.
You
that's
gonna
the
get this
energy.
You know what I'm saying? No matter how my desire, if my desire was to be faithful, and my legacy says no, unfortunately, but if that was my desire to change my legacy, right, to break the mold, because my dad was a hoe, my brothers, they all had an abundance of kids, right, which is why I got cut. I said, fuck that. I got a brother that's running from child support. I got another brother that died with like 6 or 7 kids. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing all of that. I got one and got out the game. Because, no, seriously, and I'm being real here, because I knew, you know, my father had siblings that didn't know that they were siblings in the same fucking school.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that happens. That does happen.
No, it happens.
It happens all the
Facts,
time.
yeah.
So I didn't want to be a part of that legacy, right?
Right.
But I knew at the same time, because I am of this lineage, then yeah, I was fucking
right.
I was gonna fuck around.
Right. It's
you know
bound
what I'm
to
saying?
happen.
That was a lot of the failure of my first marriage. I couldn't sit still.
Right.
And unfortunately, when you get married and put that ring on, the motherfuckers come at you even more.
So I'm gonna ask you this.
I think when you just in a relationship in general.
Nah, ain't nothing like that ring, dog. Ain't nothing like that.
If you
dog.
display your relationship, I agree.
No, it's one thing. It's one thing to display it.
Right.
It's another thing for that bitch to be official.
Right.
I'm telling you what I know.
There's that experience.
I ain't never been married, so
I'm telling you what I know.
Right.
You don't got to get married. Go buy you a wedding band.
I ain't
No. It's an experience.
I ain't experiencing like that.
Okay.
Trez, what about you? You said you agree with me to a certain extent.
We'll get a wedding band. So these bitches think I'm married. Oh, you a cheating nigga, ain't you?
They will come for you.
They gonna come regardless, baby.
No, they will, and they are. You got them. But I'm saying that other echelon.
Nah, that's a bad echelon. I don't even want.
It is a bad echelon.
Let's see a nigga with a
man. It is. There are women out there.
I already know, man.
There are women out there that would prefer a married man because they can get what they want and they don't have to have responsibilities and an obligation. And they know that married man is going to do more to keep them quiet. See, when you cheat and you're married, I got to do more for the side chick. I got to take care of my house first.
So you got you probably put me in a position. I got to do more for no fucking reason.
No. I'm not putting you in that position. I'm just telling you the experiment is to see the different level of look you get. That's all the experiment is.
You're probably
but
right.
what I'm telling you is you got to do more to keep that chick
quiet. Yeah.
Not only quiet.
Hush mouth.
Not only that, but for her to not take on other attention from you niggas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's also what the married man is fighting against. I got her. I want to keep her in a certain position. I don't want nobody else to holler at her.
Right.
You got too much going on, man.
No, but it's a real thing.
I already know.
Hey, you said you agree with me to a certain extent. What about you, Trez?
Yeah, man. Shit. Nah, like you definitely got to go through shit in life to find yourself, you know. But as far as going through different relationships, I don't necessarily agree that, you know, you got to go through a whole bunch of different relationships to find out if that's the right person. It's all about growing within yourself, because at the end of the day, your first could be your best.
Could be. It very well could be.
To be honest with you, so it's just really about where you at mentally and where y'all at emotionally and what type of connection y'all have. You know what I'm saying? If y'all willing to grow with each other, then I don't think you got to go through. If y'all gonna go through the trials and tribulations together at an early age, then that might be your ride or die. Like, I don't really think you got to go through a whole bunch of different. That's just some man shit that we do. You know what I'm saying? We want to get this shit out of our system. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, do we ever really get it out of our system?
Yeah, and you know, I will say too, I think something that kind of alters that perspective, or just that, or changes the trajectory and the outcome when somebody is asked that question, It's just the times. Like we all know, back in the day.
I think it's age too.
Yeah,
You're right.
That too, and then just from a relationship standpoint, back in the day, a woman was willing to put up with a little bit more.
She didn't have as many rights.
Having that many rights didn't.
She didn't even have the financial status or stability.
Education, job, all that.
We in different times right now.
So that changes kind of like how you know, because now I feel like, you know, a woman will always tell you, and this is just me being, you know, kind of thinking outside the box or trying to put myself in that particular space. You know, when you talk about that, a woman is gonna always say, well, you know, I don't have to deal with this certain shit because I can go get whatever, whoop. And, you know, they don't have to go through a whole bunch of shit to find whoever they want. They have that grocery list, just, you know, an imaginary of what they want, this perfect
but
person.
how does that work for you?
Who knows?
Nah, they know.
I mean,
that's why you keep seeing them in the same
cycle.
Yep.
Cycle. I mean, and women, for the most part, and again, that's why I wish we had women here. But
we'll get.
If you look at it from a social media standpoint, it's easy to tell when a woman is going through something.
It really is.
You know, you'll see the post or the memes of "you lost a good one," or "ain't nobody," you know, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Stop.
Right.
Stop. Right. You don't got to advertise to the world. You know what I'm saying? Because you attempt to be in a relationship secretly from social media, right? But when the shit go wrong, you advertise that something went wrong.
Right. Very true.
So if you go play the secrecy shit, play it all the way out.
Yeah, I agree.
Only your inner circle should know. The world shouldn't know. This motherfucker going through some shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's very true. You know, and I think that to me, I just think that that's crazy. You know, that's a whole nother conversation in itself, how people operate. But
that's why I said we gotta have.
Yeah, and I agree. We will. You know, but like
do a series on that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah, really, like a 4-part series.
Yeah. You know, but you know, in finally, if I could say this, I you know, I just reiterate, I do think that you gotta. I just feel like you do at this stage. You do gotta. I feel like you do gotta go through something. Like I said, it don't have to be with that person, but I just think, you know, like you said, you grow as a person. And
you gotta go through life.
You gotta go through some shit in
when
life.
You go through life
experience, not just a person. I think that's important.
A strong foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if anybody's good in your circle, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, your partners, or, you know, somebody that you love, if they're gonna go through that shit with you in life, they're gonna grow with you. Like, you know, at the end of the day, shit. A lot of the homeboys that I started with are not here right now. I mean, some of them are dead, some of them incarcerated, but the ones I still even in contact with, you know, I had to disassociate myself with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Because I started growing in other ways that they may not have been growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and the love is there, but
it's just the love's always gonna be there.
Doing what you were doing will stifle my growth or prevent me from where I'm trying to go. And as a friend, I love you enough to let you keep rocking, but I can't let you hinder what I'm trying to sustain. You know what I'm saying?
The rivals will always be there in the corner, though.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They're always there, and you'll always be there.
Yeah.
But daily operation, they're not going to be a part of.
It changes as you grow.
Yeah. So it's going back to your point as far as going through shit. Yeah, you go through shit so you really get to know yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's your part. It's your life journey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about knowing yourself.
I agree with that.
So when you get to that point of really taking on something, you know yourself well enough to know that this person is not going to be a benefit to what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
And you never want to take on somebody that's not a benefit to what you want to do. Because no matter what anybody says, right, the relationship is give and take.
Yes, it is.
I'm only taking you on because I can get something from you. Doesn't mean financially, but it's something that you have that feeds me.
Got it. Yeah.
And hopefully I have something that feeds you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not materialistic shit. We talking a different level here.
Yeah. When I was younger, I always felt like I had to experience a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? To figure out really what I wanted in life. Or what I was looking for. But as I got older, I seen the changes was in me, and I was like, as I look back now, half of the shit that I did in my 20s, that shit don't even attract me no more.
Oh no, not at all.
Like,
I had a lot of
30,
shit.
like shit, it's just crazy. As you allow yourself to grow, you notice the growth in your life. Then you start realizing exactly what you want and what you're gonna put up with. So just gotta keep growing, man. You gotta keep growing.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. I don't think there's ever, there's never a perfect situation. So you can't just sit back and say, you even though you went through something, you got to now like figure out or facilitate this perfect situation. That's just not gonna happen. You just got to be confident.
No, it'll
like
never be
yourself.
perfect. But what's the word? Trez?
It'll be perfect for you.
Compromise. What are you willing to compromise?
It could be your perfect. It could be your perfect situation.
Well,
What do you mean?
Unorthodox. You know what I'm saying? If it's right for me, that means it's perfect for me.
No, I'm saying even in that, there's going to be some level of compromise.
You got
But you don't never want to compromise to where you said earlier you don't want to lose your peace or your happiness.
Right.
I don't even know if
It's a compromise.
that might be the word.
It's a compromise.
I think that's a good way to put it. There's probably a lot of other terms that go with that compromise, but I think the biggest one is compromise because you have to be willing in order to get to that place. Because that's the part of y'all already mentioned everything that works for y'all and what experiences have helped you make whoever you with or have that notion of who you kind of want to rock with. But at the same token, I think you got to understand within yourself with those experiences that what you want to compromise, be willing to let into your space. So I mean, to your point, fellas, we will continue this and get ladies guests on to
we're gonna start reaching out this week.
Yeah,
I
heard it first here.
Start reaching out this week.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Anything else, fellas? Get ready to wrap this thing up. So
Nah, we good, man.
All right. Well,
I'm good. Trez, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I got something, but I'm gonna save it to a little bit later. Since we're gonna be bringing this up in a couple more parts.
Okay.
We still stuck on the 18 to 40.
Huh?
Still taking the 18 to 40.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
It was regard to this last situation we talked about.
Oh, okay.
It was actually a fact that I was going to talk about, but if we're doing a 4-part, it's all going to go together.
Yeah, we need to do a 4-part series.
I got some good stuff.
I mean, if y'all up to it,
I'm ready.
I'm all for it, man.
Okay. Yeah, we do a 4-part series.
All right. Well, hey, good conversation, fellas. Definitely thank y'all for bringing light to the topic. Because that's what we do. So, like you said, more to come. Thank you all again for listening in. Please chime in, give feedback on all available platforms. We definitely thank you for your continued support. That's all I got. And so until we meet next time, continue watching us, UnMask'D Podcast, Cognac Crew. I am DJ D Spins.
Trez, the Barbarian.
P.
Life. For every little black child, this is life. For every single parent, this is life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.